Hello, my guys, welcome to the channel today, and we are talking about a slightly controversial topic of one sense, I suppose, which is the Galactic Legend packs that have come out this past week and are supposed to come out following this as well. So, of course, we have um, packs for Rey currently, and I can go to the store, we can look at those in a second, and Kylo Ren is supposed to follow that SLKR. I know there are packs also for Starkiller. So it's a little different, I guess. Starkiller being a more of an epic character, if you will, or whatever, however they want to call it, like a legacy character. But he's just on the tier just below Galactic Legends at any rate. Um, and I guess the question is is this good for the game? And this is not to take my own personal feelings on it, because my own personal feelings are certainly biased by which characters I have. You can see I have Jabba the Hutt, Jedi Master Kenobi, Luke, and I've got Kylo and Rey. Um, and I guess it's not just if it's good for the game, but also what is likely to happen because of it, in terms of both the game and also CG, if we're being honest about it, because they're part of the problem. So, firstly, for anyone who is not checked and somehow has been in a hole for the past week, I suppose, um, you would be remiss to have not noticed that these bundles exist here. And I actually don't need any of them because my characters are all already Relic 5 and 7 stars. So for me, it doesn't matter. I don't know why they're trying to sell me these packs, right? But they are. So you get BB-8 characters. All nice. Which ironically helps you for SLKR at the same time, right? You can get Jedi Training Rey, which is actually quite an easy bundle, relatively speaking. You need BB-8 too. You're going to get him too for that one, but it gives you the characters. You have the other characters who are like the catch-all, everything else left behind, except for Zoe Bliss. It's a very important small detail. Zoe Bliss is not included in this, and actually she's possibly the best of all the characters, right? So in some respects, that is a very important thing not to forget. And you get the one for the riders too. So you got these characters. I mean, most of us probably have Bosco like 5, even if you haven't been trying to get Rey, right? But the rest of the characters, Ahsoka and so on. It's good to get those characters. And you get the ships too from early. Yeah, you get the ships as well, all at 7 star. Now, this doesn't unlock Galactic Legend Rey, right? Because you still need to get a few things. Then first, you need to get the Radis up to 5 star, which is 1,000 crystals extra per node refresh, times 7, because you need 65 shards. So 7, because you get 10 at a time. Or 6.5 months, right? 7 months basically. So that one's the first problem I guess you have. The second problem is you still need to get BB-8 and Jedi Training Rey leveled up, because even though you unlock them, BB-8 needs to be Relic 7, Jedi Training Rey needs to be Relic 7. So it's not an inconsiderable amount of time to get those two characters right up to the max level straight away. And then of course you need the Galactic Legends tickets. And if we're being frank about it for a second, Rey's journey is probably the hardest journey of all the GLs. Probably. SLKR. I mean, they're both kind of, because they have that whole silly mechanic about like, was it parry riposte basically, and attack, and then they also have more difficult, to my mind anyway, 4, 5, 6 tiers to get the ultimate ability tokens. But in principle, you can spend $50, get all those characters. You can then either spend another 5,000 crystals, which is actually, how much is 5,000 crystals? Does it even tell me on this one? Let me see. 5,000 crystals would be, I guess, between $30-ish, $30 to $40, something like that, I guess. If you want it instantaneously, and then, oh my goodness me, why does it just exit straight out like that? And you also need to level those two, which does take a little bit of time. So that's the first thing. It's not instantaneous. You're not going to unlock Rey tomorrow if you buy these packs. It's going to take you like a few weeks at least. To level the characters up, to work out what to do with the riders, to then also get the tokens, unlock her, and then also level her, and then also, because you need her to be like Relic 5 realistically to do the ultimate missions, and then also get the ultimate tokens. So it does take it's not inconsistent. I guess maybe even 6 weeks is probably like realistic from here if you bought all those packs today. Okay. Now I presume the same is the case for SLK. I mean, I don't know what the packs are yet because I haven't looked at the data mines, but I presume it's going to be finalizer pack, leftover characters, BB-8 pack, and I've forgotten who it is. The last character you need. I don't actually know. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think which other character you need for Kylo Ren, but because you need people like Palpatine, for example, as part of the unlocking SLKR. Yeah, I don't think there is actually another characters at that point, is there? But it's going to be something very similar anyway. At any rate, it's similar-ish. So that is like how the token packs and sort of broken down. Now, as I said, there are good bits and bad bits to this. And the first good bit, obviously, is that we should be taking more time to allow people who start the game newer to catch up quicker, right? Because at the minute I'm collecting for Leia, and it's actually selected, and I'm collecting for Cal Kestis, and I should probably have both those by Christmas, unless things go particularly badly with farming Drogon shards, because who knows when it comes to farming shards, right? So it might be a little bit later if that sucks. But in terms of actually just getting the cards basically done, Christmas time. And that means I'll have 6 out of 8, you get me? And your person who starts tomorrow, I mean, it's going to take him 9 months to get his first GL, and he's never going to catch up with me, right? And he's always, if you ever fight him in Grand Arena, it would require him to have the best mods in the world and also the best setup. So on one level, it's a good thing. It's a great thing, in fact, that they're helping to get some of the early characters going. I have some obviously minor asides, which is at my level in Kyber 2, Kyber 3. Some people have not actually got Rey or Kylo because they skipped them to go for the better GLs first, because when they started the game, either these guys or these guys were the premium GLs, and so they went for those guys first, and they've just kind of skipped these ones, so now they can just buy them. So now they can just jump over a little bit. But that's a very specific personal point of view, because that's at my level, right? What's happening? The people with 5 or 6 GLs can get the last missing one, and then that kind of sucks. But that's very specific. In general, it's a very good thing to be able to get up now. There are, of course, a couple of bad bits, right? The first thing is it's encouraging people to pay money, which is never a good thing, right? Because, it makes the game a little pay to win. Because if you start the game tomorrow and you don't buy these packs, maybe because you don't even know that they exist, or you have no clue what they do or anything like that, you don't even know if they're worth anything because you just started, whatever. So you miss out on the packs. You're going to be miles behind from some of these people who are doing the same thing at the same time if you're aware of it. So that's the first problem, I guess, is that we don't know if the pack's going to come back again. We don't know how long it's going to be for. Like, is it going to be once every 6 months? Is it going to be once a year? Is it never going to come back? We have no clue how things are being rolled out. So that's the first problem. I guess the second problem, and I guess that's more subtle, is that CG never released things, if we're being honest, that are completely good for the players. When they first did the Hyperdrive bundle, which was very helpful at the time because it helped you get up to a certain level straight away, they basically at the same time, or just before that, announced, oh, by the way, Galactic Legends are coming too. So Rey and Kylo in particular, that was right back when they first came out. And it was like, yeah, we're going to bring you all up to here, but those people who are here can actually go up to there. That's the first thing. The second problem, I guess, was when they did Datacrons, right? So Datacrons came out in about, I think it's June 2022, give or take, summer of 2022, so last year. And as you can see, they're here to stay, and they kind of hang around the whole time. And either side of that, they did Gear 1.0, so to speak, and Gear 2.0, so the updates to the gear system for non-Kyrotech and non-Gear 12 based gear. So they, on one hand, improved your gear, but on the other hand, they gave something else which was going to completely knacker the gear that you got, right? Because I can get characters to Gear 12 very easily now that were pre-Shakti, roughly, because I can Kyrotechs in. But at the same time, they're useless because Datacrons don't apply to any of those characters. So if I have a Relic character, then they get lifted right up here now. So CG has never been one to give one with the other one. Like when Jedi Knight Luke, for example, came out, that was at the time when people were very upset about some other parts of the game, right? It's like they have a habit of giving with one hand and taking with the other hand. And I know from some data mines, there have been, I guess, 2 things that have been kind of highlighted that are coming to the game in the not too distant future, which is a Relic 10, obviously. In fact, if you go into your roster and you click on a character, you look really carefully, very quickly at the Relic symbol in the corner. Let's just do this quickly. Let's pick someone. Hopefully it works. My game doesn't like screw me over here. Let's just pick Rey. There you go. You see very second there? You see 10. And that's because Relic 10 is coming into programmed into the game. They just haven't released it yet. So there's a chance that they're just going to go, okay, you can have GL Rey now, but basically any of you guys who bought GL Rey will never be able to get Relic 10 for like like 3 years or something. That's one possibility. And they're just going to pull the bar. And what they can do, and of course we've seen this before with Jedi Master Luke specifically. I haven't got mine to relegate on 9, but if I was to, I really should do. What they can do is when you go from 9 to 10, they could easily tweak it so these stats here, the mastery stats, kind of screw over all the stats before. So for example, if you look here, he is getting ridiculously thick by the time we get to relegate here. And it makes him, because his damage is based on his health in the first place, he's hitting pretty hard. They could do, say this is day, so that's P60. They could say from 9 to 10, we're going to double the relic mastery stats, right? Which then suddenly means, oh, it doesn't matter if you have even relic 9 ray anymore, because relic 10 ray is twice as good as relic 9 ray, so whatever, you can have her. That's one point. That's one thing that is definitely coming in. We don't know how they're going to tweak the stats yet, but they could easily tweak them to really screw people over, right? The second thing I guess they could do, which has happened before, but I don't think they're likely to touch it, is they could do what are known as relic abilities. So if anyone who has an oldish memory or longish memory like I do, when relics first came out, they had a beautiful trailer. It looked really cool. It's like, wow, look at this. You can tweak your characters with relic levels. You can make them really specifically good in the certain roles that they do. Like a tank will become much thicker, or an attack will be able to hit much harder, and all this kind of thing. It looked really cool, and all that kind of stuff. In it, they had what was known as relic abilities. So specific abilities, like at the bottom here, that would just unlock based on the relic level, which would be like incredibly powerful abilities that would overwhelm people. They could do that too. They could just go, okay, relic 10, we'll make relic 10 so not much more difficult than relic 9 in terms of stats, but we'll give you a special ability that means, like in the case of Jabba the Hutt, you can, when you use the Rancor, you could kill 3 people rather than 1 person, for example. They could screw with it completely. They could make it so that, the relic abilities, if they wanted to put these in the game, just destroy people. Now, I will admit that they did say at the time, after the first trailer, they said it's like 6 or 9 months later, we've decided to take them out again because we thought it was too hard to program. But, it has been like 3 years, right, at least, since they did relics, or 4 years almost since they did relics. So, could they easily program it now? Maybe. It's a possibility, right? I suppose the other thing that has been dead in mind, which is kind of important to note for everybody, is that there have been some events noted which require GLs coming up, and we don't know very much about them because they're in data mines, right? And you never know if a data mine is true or not, so maybe pinch of salt type thing. But there have been events mined out that show you have to have GL Ray or GL Kylo to do the event. And what they are for, we don't know. What the rewards would be for, don't know. Would Ray and Kylo only get you to like level 1 of the event, and you need, say, JML to get to level 2 and Jedi Master Koei to get to level 3 or whatever? Like they could program different levels for different GLs. Maybe. The thing is, we have no clue about it, but we know that there is some event that is certainly being partly programmed into the code of the game that does rely on having GLs. And it could just be that they're allowing everybody the chance to enter the event. But much like Conquest, if you enter at the 0 to 4 million level, you kind of get screwed over a bunch. Whereas if you're at the 4 million plus, you get all the really good stuff, right? So it could be like that. And they're like, yeah, you can enter if you have 1 or 2 GLs, but unless you have 4, you don't get the good stuff. So, they could be framing it like that too, of course. And of course, I guess the last thing we have to be very wary of, and this is more like a random date in the month, I think. So at the minute it is October, early October. And the anniversary for Capital Games' game, Galaxy of Heroes, is mid-November. So the timing is somewhat suspicious because normally when they get to mid-November, they release a whole bunch of really cool things into packs and so on. Like here, you can do the 5,000 currency to get 1 full character, or here, there's just hyperdrive bundle for half price, and all this kind of, like, they do really cool, clever, random stuff specifically for that one bit, and they get huge amounts of sales and all that kind of thing. One tinfoil hat type thing is, why are they releasing the packs now, like a month beforehand? Like, maybe it's a bit ulterior motive, maybe it's a bit cynical or what have you, but to me, my mind is going, this is really weird. If I was Capital Games, I would just release these as part of the anniversary as a celebration of the game. Why are you doing it now? If you're doing it now, that means you have something else planned for then. And if you have something else planned for then I am now concerned as to what that thing is, right? Because, as I said, they're very rarely. I don't hate the Gibbs creator. I love playing the game, but there have never really been one that we give completely and never get something back again in the end, right? They're business at the end of the day. So why are they doing this now, a month before when they would normally do sales and normally do packs that special and all this kind of thing? What is coming? Then my mind is working overdrive right now, going, well, what is actually coming when we get to November? Like, what is so special or crazy that would require you to release characters early that are GLs in a way that, let's be frank, is super good value? And if I was in the same position, I would buy those packs, right? Because they're super good value, no doubt about it. Um, and my mind stretches to, are they releasing some type of character above GLs? So like you've got like GLs as like, because like I said before, you had the Hyperdrive bundle which pulled everybody, all the characters like Malik and General Anakin Skywalker to a certain level. Um, Now you're going to go probably with GL. So now is it that they're going to go, okay, GLs were here. Now we're going to put like, I'm going to make up a name like Super GLs, but like, this classic character up here now. Um, and I mean, one could argue that if you look at the characters in the games they're releasing, they're clearly angling towards something, because we've got suddenly Iron Man, Moff Gideon, right? We've got Mando and Bo-Katan as the login rewards, but neither of those characters is needed for Moff Gideon, right? Um, we've got the Marauder, right, which is a very weirdly timed shift, to be frank. Plus the fact that it's reworking Mace Windu, apparently. I mean, that is an odd choice in rework, right? Why would you do that? Likewise, even to a lesser extent, why Talon Malikos came out for the last conquest seems a very odd choice in character, personally, given the timings were all off from when the rest of the characters came out from that game. And then it just feels like with the Mandalorian type stuff, especially if you take Mando, if you take Bo-Katan, if you take the fact they're releasing Moff Gideon's character, if they take the fact they reworked Super Commando to make him part of the Maul team so that you could afford to have reworked the teams a bit, it feels like they're angling for some character to come out and around, I guess, November, December time that would be the next level above something else. So, tinfoil hat, maybe nothing's going to happen. Maybe it'll all be fine. And this is just them trying to make money, possibly. But in my experience of the game, it has been very rare that they have simply just tried to make money flat out like that. They've usually tried to make money, but then create something else to make money off everybody else. So, for example, as I said, I and 75% of the people in my group of Neck of the Woods don't need to buy Ray. So, and don't need to buy Kylo because we got those first, right? So we don't need to spend the money. So, arguably, they may well trend to getting something that we can get or do, right? And I'm not going to spend the money myself unless it was a ridiculously good deal like this. But they could trend towards something that makes money or something that we will aim for that just overwhelms whatever else everyone else can buy now, right? Which makes me concerned because much like with the Hyperdrive bundle and Galactic Legends, much like with Datacrons and Gear 2.0, the giving and taking wasn't really equal because it just kind of raised the bar, so it meant that things just got further away than before for people. So, in any event, that is just some like random, like not quite tinfoil hat theory thinking about it, but it's certainly to think about it. The long and short is that it is good for the game. It is good for people who start the game in general and in principle. I just wish that they did it in a slightly better way, firstly to somehow alert people who are at that end, because I think some people are going to miss out because they have no clue. I also think that maybe that we need to be thinking that something else is coming, because they don't give us stuff without taking stuff. And that's not trying to be harsh to them. They're a business, and that's what they should do. But if that's the case, what is it coming? Because each of the times before, be it Datacrons, be it Galactic Legends, be it even Kyrotex when they brought Kyrotex out, right? These things have never been well received by the general population of the game, um, and that's concerning, obviously. Well, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you completely agree with me. It's fine if you do. I mean, if you think it's terrible for the game, that's great. And if you think it's great for the game and there's no possible way of going backwards, that's completely fine too. And I appreciate as well that everyone is in different points in the game to each other, so maybe it means different things to different people. I guess from my point of view, just as someone who's played the game for a long time, I have sort of the look of the game as to how they've worked this kind of thing before. They have always done it in a way that has been give and take, and I worry what the take is because everyone is so happy about the give right now, and the few people who are saying, "Oh, they're releasing this now because of the Conquest debacle," no, they've done much worse stuff than the Conquest debacle, and released much less for that. You know, they'll send us 500 crystals and some materials for that, right? So this is clearly something very different, right? The reason for this is that there's something very different happening, and we are being particularly remiss if we don't realize this. But have a really great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys all next time.